Hey everyone, Phil here with Video School Online. I'm with Caleb Logic from DIYVideoGuy.com and the DIY Video Guy YouTube channel. Today we're talking about lavalier microphones, also known as lapel microphones. So we'll walk through everything from what they are, different brands, how you place them, and pros and cons. So first, welcome to this video.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm so excited to have you here again for another collaboration, and hopefully the viewers are enjoying them as well. Go check out his channel. So first of all, remember to do that. But let's talk about lavaliers. What are they and why would I even think about using them?
So lavaliers are kind of the standard microphone that people use when they're filming themselves talking. You see them on news reporters, you see them on talk shows, things like that. You see people with the pack on the back and then the microphone kind of on their shirt like this. And it's kind of the standard to do that because you can just put that on the person, and as long as it stays in the same spot, it's going to sound the same through the whole time. But for really important speeches, like when Obama gives a speech or something like that, they'll be double or triple mic'd up just in case something happens to one of the wireless systems or something like that. So it's just a good system for capturing audio, and you put it close to the person talking and it turns out pretty good.
Nice. So those are some of the pros. Why wouldn't we use a lavalier?
If you just have one person talking, it's not the best sound you can get. We just filmed a video right before this that should also be on your YouTube channel about shotgun microphones, and these are much better at picking up sound from one source fairly close to it. But for this kind of video, instead of having multiple shotgun mics and allowing us to move around and pick up stuff, lavaliers are pretty good, and we're actually normally we would hide this, but we're recording directly into this Tascam DR100 Mark II right now with our two lavaliers, and it's a good way when you have more than one person on camera to record sound.
Sounds really good, and I actually have a couple lavaliers that I use for a lot of my interviews, for documentaries. I think they're really great, and if you don't want it to be visible, there's ways to hide it.
Yeah, this is actually one way. So this is
Perfect.
a Rode Invisolav here, and this is the Rode microphone that comes with the Rode Link wireless system. And you put this with some tape and you put it under a shirt. And normally you can't do that because you'll pick up the sound of the shirt, but with this and having the microphone in this, you can hide it a little better. And then there are tricks to put it in your collar, or like I've tried to hide this one as much as possible, but you can only do so much. So sometimes it's more important to get good sound, and people are kind of used to seeing microphones when they watch video.
And they're so small. I mean, sometimes when you're outside, I see the big puffy ones. I mean, this is a even bigger one with a bigger windscreen, which is nice when you're outdoors and it's windy, but it's definitely more noticeable. So
yeah.
So let's talk about placement, because I know when I was starting out, I just didn't know how to loop it or clip it properly and where to put it so it's not too high or too low. What's your advice about that?
Yeah, so sometimes you'll place it differently if you really don't want it in the shot and you're going to be cropped in pretty close. You might place it down a little further, but I try to do like this just under the second button on a men's shirt. If it's a female and you have a blouse or something, usually that's a little lower and you kind of have to hide it. But the biggest things when actually putting it on are clipping it so that it stays and it doesn't move at all, and that you let the actual clip have some catch in it. So I do this other extra loop so that if it gets tugged on or stepped on, it doesn't pop out of place. It instead gets caught a little bit. So if you look really closely at yours, it's kind of looped in a way so that if it gets tugged, it won't come undone. So that's just a tiny little tip. Yeah.
Awesome. So just kind of between, like, I guess the first and second button on a collared shirt, maybe that's like, I don't know, somewhere 8 inches below. But what if someone has like a t-shirt, or do you tell people if you know you're interviewing someone to wear a collared shirt? Like, how do you deal with someone that just has like a t-shirt that doesn't have buttons?
Yeah, so t-shirts and other like things like blouses and stuff like that aren't really strong also are a little bit harder to put a lavalier on. That's why it's good to have some sort of invisible system that you can then tape under their shirt. But you could still tape it up here. It's just not going to be as good of sound because it's kind of going to be muffled by your chin, by your neck, whereas this is kind of picking up sound in front of you. So that's why.
Got it. Awesome stuff. Now let's talk about what types of lavaliers there are. We got a few out here, a couple that I use, a couple that you use. Price ranges, quality, what's your experience with different brands and types?
Yeah, so you can go super cheap. I mean, you can get lavaliers for 20 or 30 bucks on Amazon, but you plug those into your camera, there's gonna be a lot of noise, it's not gonna sound that good. So microphones are really something that you can invest in, and unlike cameras, they don't really change that much. There's still microphones like some of these, like the NTG3 or other lavaliers, they don't get old, and they still sound good after many, many years. So they're worth investing in, just like good lights are. So I think the biggest difference as you go up in price is better quality, or usually you have to pay more for wireless. So you have a set of Sennheisers over here. Actually, this is just one because you have the receiver and transmitter. And I think those are like $600 or $700 for a set. This is Rode's new Rode Link system. These are about $400, and they come with the receiver and transmitter and a microphone. And then one extra thing that I get is to make it XLR. I get this little extra attachment. But what we're talking on now are Audio-Technica AT899s, which are like $175 each for the set. And the good thing about these is they come with a bunch of different clips and different options. So you can really go the gambit of super cheap to, $100, $200 to getting a wireless setup.
Nice. And we'll include all the links to these specific models in the description below, so you can check them out. Because these Sennheisers, $500, $600. This Shure lapel was, I think, almost like a couple $100s as well. So they do get a little bit pricey, but you can definitely tell the difference between the ones you find on Amazon or eBay for $15 or $20. So audio is so important. We know we're both video creators. Audio is just as important as video in most times, and sometimes it's even more important, especially for online video when people are watching your video out of the corner of their eye with a bunch of other tabs open. So it's important to have really good audio. So is there anything else with lavaliers?
Going from wired to wireless has a little bit more complexity. It does allow more movement. Right now we have these cords dangling in front of us, so if we had to go grab something, you'd have to unplug and do everything. But you do start to have to deal with different frequencies, and each of these needs a set of batteries and all those kinds of things. So if you're in a controlled environment, wired is a good way to go. I only used wired lavaliers for multiple years. Just recently got one of these for when I'm out and about shooting videos. So stick with wired, it's a little cheaper of an option, and then go to wireless if you need it.
Awesome. Well, Caleb, thanks again so much for being here. Check out his YouTube channel at DIY Video Guy. Again, links down below in the description. And also check out DIYvideoguy.com, where he has tutorials, blog posts, he has a podcast he's been doing, and some premium courses about video creation and editing. So thanks for being on this, and check out the next video in this series on the channel, which will be about actually how do we record audio with either a lavalier or shotgun microphone, and how do you get good sound. So thanks again for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and see you guys in the one where we talk about these guys.
See you there.